Why do I need to start every game like this? Now all I have left is Hellblade 2, which is a sequel to a game that didn't need a sequel, but hey, it might be good. Fuck you, this time I got Game Pass. But hey, at least this one is unique. It's not often that I have to go into the game files to remove a fucking letterbox in your video game. Evil Within was 10 years ago and that game was also terrible. Even though both of you try very hard, you're not a movie. Hellblade 2 is an alleged video game that not a lot of people care about. But don't worry, I care about you. Or maybe I should say I did, cause I played you. You were revealed in 2019, so what the fuck was being done for these 4 years? Yes, your 3D artists and animators and actors are very talented and great.
Different.
You are different.
Somebody with the ability to look at the world and see what might be.
You are special.
Not what is.
Oh yes, this game is very special. For the people who call Sony exclusives movie games, the goalpost has been moved way further. I think I beat most of the game with one hand on the controller. Seriously, there's so many moments where you just walk and walk and walk and walk and walk and walk. Kinda makes me question why this is a game, but hey, let's go through this special game and see what's going on.
And then the Northmen came again to our land, stripping us of our names, our lives, of everything that makes us who we are. Beating and blinding, taking us as slaves. These Northmen sail under a blood-red sign. And one among them they call Master.
Senua wants to stop the enslavers from taking away people to a different land. Sure, that's great, but her plan is to get captured by them so that she can do what exactly? Later on, she even admits that she didn't really have a plan. What she basically did by getting captured is commit suicide.
Safe. She knows why they're safe. Safe because of the blood.
What were you going to do when you reached it? Before you knew about the giants? Kill my father?
I came here to stop him taking my people as slaves. I think I could have killed him
She might.
to make it all stop.
I mean, these guys can do...
You fought well for me. I'll give you that.
Somehow you're not dead or knocked out, but still you would need to somehow escape capture and go through an entire settlement of trained warriors to kill their leader.
Not a great plan.
Very luckily, a storm destroys the ships and Senua is knocked out by what exactly? She wakes up though and oh my fucking god. Yeah, so this game is really weird. There was so many times when it turned into a PowerPoint, but reloading a checkpoint always fixed it. You know, usually when a game runs like ass, it's consistent, but this one just required a reload and it worked. Unfortunately, this happens all the time and it prolonged my incredibly long journey with this game. My first playthrough took me a little over 5 hours. It would be shorter if not for the constant reloads. As my girlfriends used to say, short doesn't mean bad. The first game was also short, but it was streets ahead of this one. As of now, you have already seen everything this game has to offer. Long cutscenes where you have to hold the left stick or press A to proceed, puzzles which could be solved in seconds if Senua knew how to climb a very small obstacle that anyone could fucking climb, and combat which we will get to later. If the thing of value in your game is the story, that better be a damn good story. By now, Senua had a long walk. She needs to find the other slaves or the enslaver. She needs one of the slavers to find the place where these slaves are being taken to. That is also a very intelligent plan. You want to take a slaver to the slave place and what? Kill everyone inside? How are you supposed to do that? You know what? it's just the start of the game. Maybe these rocky foundations will manage to hold a beautiful building. Get it? Rocky foundations? So finally we meet Captain America, who is also the best character in the game.
I can do this all day.
I think it's fitting to talk about the combat when on our first boss fight, so let me start with what the actual fuck. Let's just start with the fact that the cinematic nature of this game creates constant confusion as to whether we are in a cutscene or we are continuing combat. I must have played this boss fight over a dozen times now, and each time is more frustrating due to constant interruptions. Something that was not present in the first game. The visuals are gorgeous, but so was the first game. You didn't need to sacrifice depth for it. There is no dodge attacks. This was present in the first game. I think you can already see the pattern, but let's keep going. This is a heavy running attack, and this is a light running attack. Why? The first game had a specific distinction between the two. The light running attack is a very quick way to deal damage and can be done at all times. The heavy running attack is much slower, but obviously more powerful and also can be done at all times. In Hellblade 2, you can only do running attacks when you're far away from an enemy, which is very rare. To test these attacks, I had to specifically try to get further from the enemies to actually try to do them. They are not beneficial at all. Most of the enemies in the first game walked towards you, thus making these moves viable. In Hellblade 2, most enemies are spastics taken out of Bloodborne. Let's take a look at something more basic. A basic combo. Light, light, heavy. Pretty standard, right? Well, you've just seen two of them. Here is a third variation. All of these have different completion times. I know this is a bit autistic, but stick with me. In any action game, a second can mean life or death. If you react a second too late or start charging an attack a second too late, you will fail. You made 3 different variations for the same combo, but made them shorter or longer. I understand that in your basic cinematic shallow game that seems appealing, but the first game didn't have this problem. Look at that! Wow! Same consistent combo! The biggest problem isn't even the time aspect. This is an action game. I can't gamble every time I want to meaningfully use the combos. I might succeed or fail depending on your arbitrary construction of the system. In the clips you see, I made sure to not even use the left stick to see if that somehow makes an impact. It doesn't. You can beat all of these guys one-handed and the animations are still inconsistent. All of this applies to every attack besides the running ones. But it's not all worse. The parry timing window is smaller now, but most of the time a parry means an instant kill, which, I mean, we went from low risk, high reward to middle risk, really high reward. When even such a bastion of stupidity as IGN notices, you know it's bad.
That said, while I remain consistently engaged in each ferocious and remarkably fluid fight to the death, I do wish the team at Ninja Theory had done a little more to build upon the fairly modest combat template established in the original Hellblade with what they've served up here.
The enemy types also create problems. The monsters we see in the Hidden Folk cave are fucking weird. Why isn't that a hit? And that? Simply because I'm making hits during a specific animation, they don't get hit, and I get punished for it. Look at this lunging attack from this enemy. What is the difference between this and its basic attack? The animations are so similar and there is nothing that indicates that it's unblockable. Even the heavy attacks from other enemies get a light on the weapon to indicate that you should dodge. You can block, but that causes Senua to stumble, which the enemies don't take advantage of? You'd think that would be the punishment, but no. You had a basic blueprint 7 years ago. You could only go up from there, but you decided to make it so much worse. The combat in the first game isn't even particularly great. What it is though, is consistent and reliable. It's baffling how you made this system worse. In your desire to be more cinematic, you have sacrificed consistency. You're not the only one guilty of this, but it's a trend that unfortunately keeps continuing. So anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, Senua beats Captain America and we are off to his camp. Again, I must ask, what the fuck is your plan? They will shoot you on sight if they see you like this. Also, Senua tied up his hands, which removes Steve's ability to punch her in the face. It also makes it so he can't escape from easily breakable bindings. Cool. It's a fucking stick, bro. We go through a spooky village and find our mirror that can slow down time. Oh, ludonarrative dissonance is a thing. Senua will never use or mention this mirror in the story. We can use it all the time during gameplay. This criticism also applies to the first game. Can you think of any moments where slowing down time might be useful? I don't mean like this. Senua entered this village because she sensed that people are getting killed. What I really don't understand is this timeline. We entered the village as there is still light out. How come the people were already being sacrificed by the Draugr? Maybe they were strung up on the night before, but we see people were easily escaping. It's very convenient that Iltauga didn't come and kill you at this point. She can only come out when it's nighttime, but I guess she doesn't care about her sacrifices. She only comes out when one Draugr calls out to her. She doesn't need to be called to later, so what the fuck? Why are there retarded people running into Senua or in front of her and getting killed like the retarded retards that they are? Where the hell are they even coming from? Why any of this? Luckily, it's daytime just seconds later. Senua decides to free Steve, who for some reason hasn't yet escaped. Fargrimr, who was freed by Senua, promises to help Steve with his leg, and Steve reluctantly agrees. Senua, Fargrimr and Steve go off to Fargrimr's settlement, where, trust me bro, there's people there even though we never see or hear anyone else. Only a couple of people later on in the ritual. On our way there, we are attacked by Iltauga, and Senua's voices explain how she is suffering and stuff. So she is killing people and accepting sacrifices to her. I don't think you can make her sympathetic after that. I mean, it's possible, and they definitely try, but it's so shallow and pathetic. So it turns out the giants can't be killed. So, fuck, there's a couple of things to talk about. Let's start with the simplest one. Fargrimr tells us that there is no way to kill the giants. To then say that he believes that Senua can find a way, to then tell her where to find a way? He knows how to find a way to kill the giants, and he didn't even try to get it. Why didn't he tell Senua immediately about the fucking hidden folk who know how to do that? He said that he even met them once and they granted him what he sought. It's not even that hard to get there. We find the start of their testing place not 2 minutes after leaving. So you're already ruined. Cool. The more dire flaw is the fact that Senua killed a giant in the first game. She stabbed him with a sword and he died.
She's going to die.
Which one will she challenge first?
Surt, the fire giant has answered. He comes from a land older than mankind. And the Northmen call upon his flaming sword to raise their enemies to the ground. Find him, Senua, and spill his blood. Spill the blood of Surt and take his mark, and I will cheer you from the underworld and forever be in your debt.
You destroyed everything, everyone, but not me. Fight me now.
You literally described him as a giant. So, in a few sentences you managed to destroy your whole story, destroy a character that we barely knew, and damage Senua. Nice job. How do you forget this? But hey, the game is super mysterious and the visuals are crazy, so it's fine. Also, for some reason, after Senua mentions how she killed a god, the shadow says that gods cannot be killed.
I have killed a god, Fagrim. Nothing is impossible.
No, there is no way.
He is right. We cannot kill the giant.
The gods cannot be killed.
You can't.
Even though Senua literally killed one. Fuck, she killed Hela. She's laying right there. Senua is schizophrenic, by the way. The shadow also forgot about the giant killing part of the last game, so that's cool. Before we go on, I want to go on a quick tangent.
The light. Go towards the light.
It is terrifying, but somehow
Let it draw you in.
beautiful. You cannot trust her.
Why? Tangent over. Wait, no, I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah, there's collectibles in the game, and they also suck. The stories, which are somehow made worse in here. In the first game, the stories would go on when you walked away, but they would go silent after some distance for some reason.
Before the earth was created, there was a world called Muspel. Because it was in the south, it was bright and hot, flaming, burning. Sparks that flew out from Muspel became the stars. Other sparks melted ice in the frozen world of Niflheim, creating the body of the first giant Ymir.
Here, the stories just fully stop after taking 5 steps.
The Skalds say that the neighbors fought, armed and
Great! There's also faces that don't do anything. I love collecting worthless collectibles. So here we are on our way to find the Hidden Folk cave. They will test Senua to see if she's worthy of their gift. Their way of testing her is quite interesting. Puzzles where we need to pick up a special rock and put it in a different place. Wow! These puzzles would be solved in seconds if Senua learned how to climb very small obstacles that everyone can climb. Even if we want to pretend that this is hard to climb, we know she can rock climb, you fucks. No, we have to go through this entire process of changing reality to solve the puzzles because Senua is a fucking idiot and can't climb. Great! After solving the rock puzzles, we enter a cave where we find a different sort of puzzle. We have to either light a fire to progress or put it out to clear the way, and I want to ask you something. What the fuck is this testing? Whether she has the patience to deal with your stupid fucking puzzles? I'm applying the word puzzle very liberally. It's putting a thing into a different place or pressing one button to progress. That's not a puzzle. Scorn fans might call that a puzzle, you fucking morons. After going through the fire things, we enter a cave where the Hidden Folk guide us with light, and we meet our lovely ghoul zombie boys who you saw earlier. Cool. We get to a hole in the wall, and a voice calls out that it needs the sword. We get to the other side fairly quickly, so let's just talk about the whole thing. Why is Senua such a fucking idiot? First, she needs to sacrifice the sword to who she thinks is a stranger. That's very noble, cool, nice one. But when she gets to the other side, she seemingly forgets about sacrificing the sword and is insanely vague with information. She knows that there is a different Senua on the first side. She can quickly explain the situation and we wouldn't need this forced dramatic tension. It reminds me of...
You don't understand. There's no time.
I understand.
Oh. Before we got the sword back though, we met the Hidden Folk, who tell her the story of Iltoga, whose real name is Ingen. After telling her the story, we do the sword bit. Beating the crazy Draugr, Senua finds the skeleton of Ingun's baby. She needed the name and the skeleton to free and kill Ingun. For 2 out of the 3 giants that we kill, the game wants us to be sympathetic towards them, but I can't? Ingun's backstory is sad, so I'm supposed to be fine with the fact that she kills people by starving them? That she accepts sacrifices? She deserves scorn. Okay, maybe that's too harsh. We perform a ritual to find Iltauga, and Senua sees her in chains. Both the visuals and the music are fantastic, and it really shows what this game could have been.
I will break your chains.
Iltauga begs Senua to free her, and with each broken chain she screams. Years of pain are finally over. This scene is fantastic, and it makes me even sadder because we could have had another fantastic story. Somehow, the good stuff isn't over. The moment Steve sees that the giants can be killed, he wants to put a stop to the sacrifices and perhaps redeem himself and his clan.
I need to go home. Will your father join us if you tell him what you saw?
Yes. He will not run from battle. He will lead us into it.
There is more than the sword here. More than he can understand.
No more slaves. And no more sacrifices.
He is trying to understand. Is
No
he?
sacrifices. No more cowering in our fortress. We could fight.
We have, but not in the way he thinks.
No more sacrifices, swear.
I never wanted any of that. I just did not believe it was possible to defeat them. And now I see.
A ray of hope.
If this is real, no more sacrifices.
That's just fantastic. Our team travels to Steve's clan, but on their way there they have to stop by a different settlement. Steve points out how they will kill him on sight because they hate his clan, the Bjorg. Hargrimr points out how they have very good reasons for that, but promises to keep Steve safe. The team is ambushed by Astrid and 2 warriors from the settlement who seemingly teleported here. Fargrimr explains that they come in peace and know how to kill the giants. Astrid doesn't believe it until Senua tells her that it's true.
Look at her.
Say it is true.
She is exhausted.
You can speak.
She wants to believe you.
Speak to her.
She
Tell
wants
her.
to trust you.
Tell her the truth.
It is true.
She will believe us. She knows. She can see that we bring hope.
We do.
Okay.
Well, that was easy. Astrid wants Senua to prove it by killing the giant that stalks them. He sinks their boats, which causes starvation. Keep that in mind, it will be important. Senua isn't really up for it, and Steve has to convince her? What the fuck?
He roams the beaches and sinks our boats, cutting us off from the sea.
More death.
And we're close to running out of food.
More darkness.
We can help these people.
You can overcome it.
Kill it.
We need to get to Borgavik.
Please.
Remember, there are other people we must save.
I cannot let more of my people die.
This is how people will be insane.
Don't get distracted.
We should kill it. We've taken down one, but there is a whole land of them. We need the practice.
People will die if you help them.
And
They
I
will die if you don't.
fight.
Steve and Fargrimr are taken to the settlement, and Astrid wants to show the giant to Senua. She explains that the Bjorg are bad, that they take their food or take them as sacrifices. So, if you have a giant on one side and the Bjorg on the other, why won't you leave? Apparently this whole giant thing has been going on for a while. You could have just left to a different place. Before someone says that the sea giant is causing the storms all over the place, that's not true. Later on, Steve says that they were hit by a storm, as if it was the exception to the rule.
We hit a storm coming into land. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize.
They were taking people away for a while, meaning that they were able to bring them in at different times. Astrid and Senua get attacked by some Draugr and Astrid just leaves Senua. Fantastic! She justifies it by waiting for Senua to tell her that she is going to warn the settlement about the Draugr. Senua seeks the Hidden Folk to learn the giant's name. The Hidden Folk tell us to search for them by the sea, and of course we find them just minutes later. You know that by the sea can mean a lot of things? After finding the Hidden Folk, they tell us the story of the sea giant. He was a man who betrayed the settlement. He was cast out of the settlement for betraying them. The sea took him and he got turned into a giant and started killing his kin? Why? From what we are told, we understand that he feels guilty over his betrayal. We can even see him crying later on. Why is he killing them then? Why should I feel sorry for him? Astrid knew the man, and the way she speaks implies that she deeply cared about him.
You had a home once. And then a man came. And we took him in. We made him one of us. That man. We trusted him.
What was his name?
And he betrayed me. He betrayed my father.
It's him. There is more to this than she is saying.
So I cast him out. I haven't seen him since. His name was Saigir.
Not long after this conversation, the Draugr attacked the settlement, and I want to ask, is this game a fucking parody? The people are running into or in front of Senua during transitions between fights. They are basically all committing suicide. What the hell is this? After the comedy bit, we go off to kill the giant. The plan is to draw him out of his cave so that he gets close to the ritual place. Why? You didn't need to do that before. Oh, fuck off. People die because of this plan. If he is feeling so guilty, then he shouldn't even be killing them, but fuck it, we need our set piece. Senua goes into another crazy world and saves Saigir. This again is a fantastic scene, and if it wasn't housed in this jumbled mess of a game, it might have been worthwhile.
I can't find the light. I don't deserve your grace. I lost them.
Come back, Saigir.
Every monster was once a man.
He was lost. And you found him. You brought him here. Home. Now he can rest.
Rest now, Saigir.
After killing the giant, our fellowship travels to the Björk. I just want to point out that no one else gives a fuck. No one from Fargrimer's settlement or Astrid's. On their way there, they have to go through a spooky forest. So after we go through the spooky forest... Whoa, go back. Before entering the forest, the Fellowship talks about how this forest is super spooky and people come out of it different or don't come out at all.
What is this place?
Why?
Those who enter here don't always come back.
What does he mean?
I could go around it, or we would need to backtrack. And it would add a day or two to the journey.
More than a day or two if we're dead.
This is the path we need to take.
She's not listening to
I'll
us.
lead you through.
All
She's
right.
so sure.
How can you be so sure?
Let's go.
The whole spooky forest section takes about 10 minutes to complete. Astrid and Fargrimr are fine because Senua helped them and Steve saw a vision of him killing his father and we're done. Senua didn't even do that much. She basically told them to go forward and they did.
Fight things I can see.
Yes.
Things that bleed when struck with a spear. I'm lost here.
She has changed.
I know how you feel.
We know.
Believe me.
We understand.
But we have to keep going.
Understand.
Stay strong, Astrid.
I will get you through this.
She can help.
He helped you.
I'm lost here.
You were lost and he helped you.
Follow the sound of the river. I will find you.
He is fading.
You have to get him out of here.
He is not strong enough.
He doesn't have long.
He always knows what to do.
And now he's lost.
Lost forever.
You can't save everyone, Senua.
The spooky forest is of no consequence to anyone. It didn't matter at all. Even Steve's vision just reminds him of someone he had to kill in the past, I think. My first reading was that he had a vision of killing his father, but then the voices said that his past haunts him, so whatever. They all forget about it anyway.
I didn't want to do it. He forced my hand.
Who? Something terrible.
Who?
A vision.
No. It's nothing. Just tricks.
Is it real? Oh,
Nothing is ever nothing.
Let's leave this place.
get out now.
His past haunts him.
Get them out of here.
Yes, get them out of here.
Senua is schizophrenic, by the way. We get to Steve's clan and see their sacrifices. Astrid and Fargrimr will free them while Senua and Steve go talk to his father. His father doesn't want to listen and Steve has to choose whether to stay alongside his father or stay with Senua. Because the sacrifices were freed, Steve's father wants to sacrifice Senua. After killing quite a few warriors, meaning buck up with Astrid and Fargrimr, we do a light jog. So the running speed is tied to the current story moment. We know that the giant is coming and he will kill everyone. You'd think this situation would require a bit more urgency? Senua kills even more warriors and Steve finally makes his choice. He stands up to his father. We don't see the fight because the hidden folk tell us the story of this giant. Turns out it's this guy. He created the giants because he wanted to rule with fear. We see that Steve has lost his fight, and as much as the Goaty is evil, he cared for his son. That's neat.
My boy. Why did you have to turn your back on me?
Steve is killed, but he tells us the Goaty's name.
Kill the giant.
The tyrant.
My father's name
One name.
is only fear.
So we defeat him very easily and Senua decides to spare him? Fucking hell. After this, Senua learns that being good is good and being bad is bad. And we're done! By the way, the first time I got to the ending, it was another PowerPoint. Also, the theme was cycles of violence bad. I can generally overlook or sometimes even forgive contrivances, conveniences, or even gigantic plot holes if the characters are not compromised. Unfortunately, in this case, they are, so let's go through them. Fargrimr is utterly destroyed minutes after we meet him. A man who lets his people suffer because he is too lazy to go and find a solution. He knows where to look for the hidden folk. He even met them and yet he did nothing. He did save the sacrifices though, so that's neat. The performance is fantastic, but that can save the material. Astrid is a good person that does good stuff because doing good stuff is good. There is really nothing going on with her. She cared for the guy who was the giant and was scared in the forest. There is no resolution or even a reaction after Saegir is dead. She clearly cared about him. An empty character with nothing interesting to show us. Time for the two biggest stars of the show. Steve. Thorgester is the best character in the game. He has a journey that's impactful and ends tragically. Thorgester starts out as a ruthless slaver. His goal is noble, saving his people, but the way in which they go about that is evil. After getting beaten by Senua, he becomes a prisoner. Now he knows how all those people felt, but he never wanted this. The moment he sees that there is a way to kill the giants, he wants to stop the cruelty and the sacrifices. As much as everyone hates him because of what he is, he pushes forward to redeem himself and his clan. In the showdown between him and his father, he pushes his dad away, paying the ultimate price for it. Most scenes with him are not terrible, so that's nice. There is a clear arc, and from the beginning we can see that there is more under the surface. It shows us what could have been.
Hold him, Senua. He chose you, Senua.
Hold him.
So brave.
I am going to kill him.
We will kill him.
There's always someone ready to take his place. You told me that yourself. Might have been me if I had never met you. You have to show them a different way. You have to redeem them.
So, how about our main lady? Senua is an idiot. We meet her in Hellblade 2 as a slave because she wants to find where the slaves are being taken to and stop it. That's nice, but the big hole in your plan is that you would need to kill so many people to achieve it. You would also need to somehow escape enslavement. You succeed because of a lucky storm, idiotic slavers refusing to punch you, slavers refusing to escape very easily, giants refusing to kill you, Draugr refusing to just kill you, ghoul zombie Draugr bites meaning nothing, people jumping in front of you to get killed, spooky forest meaning nothing, slavers not protecting their means of survival, and the final boss letting you have a conversation instead of killing you. Everything in this world bends backwards just so you can succeed. The first game was a cruel, tough, arduous journey, but hey, cycles of violence bad. I'm seeing more and more parallels between these two.
Oh, please get up!
This theme is supported by nothing but the last 30 minutes. They mentioned that if Senua kills the Godi, then someone will replace him, which sure, that's not great, you know, slavery is bad, but maybe the new guy might actually be nice. Who's to say the new leader won't be trying to fix things? You say that the Godi ruled with fear, so a new person might not want to do that?
They trusted him, obeyed him, raised him above the others. Their fear made him strong. And as the land healed and the people healed, their fear ebbed. And he saw them start to turn away, to think for themselves, to choose their own path. And he felt his own strength ebb in turn. And he wanted to hold on to that strength, to hold his place in their hearts, their wills.
You try to be very nuanced, but both of you are utterly shallow. Senua suffers from survivor's guilt, which is brought up like 2 times in the game and forgotten. Her schizophrenia is now just 2 ladies talking about how special or retarded she is.
See what might be,
You are special.
not what is.
She's not special.
And that is.
It basically doesn't matter. Why did you make all these strange decisions? Making an already shallow but reliable combat system worse. The level design is terrible, and if Senua knew how to climb fucking rocks, the journey would be over even faster. The puzzles would make a child laugh. Almost every character is either an idiot or a plank of wood with nothing going on, and only one is decent. No amount of strange, mysterious dialogue and visuals will save this stupid game. Vagueness doesn't excuse your shitty decisions. Thankfully, a lot of people have noticed the drop in quality, and luckily it's on Game Pass, so if you want, you can suffer for like 5 hours and your wallet will still sleep peacefully. I think Ninja Theory should go on to make what they really want, which is movies, and leave the making of games to people who actually want to make them. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.